Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful, as you can see, sunshiny San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I hope you guys are excited for another wonderful gift of this day to enjoy what you have been given and to make the most of it. You know, if things are right at home, it doesn't really matter what the world thinks. And if things are wrong at home, it doesn't really matter what the world thinks. What do I mean by that? I'm really glad you asked. So I'm going to have a conversation with you about that as quickly as possible, especially for those who are called as leaders. Those who are leaders. Now, if we use John Maxwell's definition of that, he says leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. Leadership is influence. And John Maxwell goes over various levels of leadership. The weakest and the lowest begins with a position. Have you ever had to work for a boss who had a title yet was not someone who inspired you or motivated you or encouraged you, or somebody you wanted to emulate or be like because you could see how they were living and you thought, man, I really like that gal, I really like that guy, and you wanted to follow him? Everybody has worked for somebody that they knew truly didn't have leadership, they just had a title. Well, what we're talking about here is we're talking about the reality, if you are called to lead, that if things are going right at home, it don't really matter what the world thinks. And if things are going wrong at home, it don't really matter what the world thinks. And here's the clarity behind that. The greatest deception a man or woman can have is to gauge how they are really doing in life by the applause or feedback of those around them that are not closest to them, because people see what they want to see, they hear what they want to hear, and people only get a part of the story. Most people are living a public life that is like the highlight reel of a movie. You know, usually you just see the best parts during the highlight reel. But you see, at home, that's where the set is down, the makeup is off, the stunt double is not present, and now you have the behind the scenes. So when somebody is living a life publicly that is in misalignment with their behind the scenes reality, that is called a lack of integrity. And a lack of integrity, be sure of this, you will be found out. It will always find you out. There's no way that it ain't gonna find you out. So when it comes to specifically the group of people or coaches or people in an industry who are learning and growing and committed to personal growth and personal development so they can help others grow in personal growth and personal development, the primary source of feedback for how you really doing is in those people who are closest to you. If you are a husband, it is the feedback you are getting from your wife. Oh, I know you're a rock star out there. Oh, I know everybody loves you. I know everybody thinks you're amazing. But if you're neglecting your wife, if you are mistreating your wife, if you are not honoring your wife, you ain't stuff according to the stuff that's really, really, really real. Now, if the world thinks you're a freak, everybody hates you, ain't nobody gets you, and you ain't doing nothing out there, and yet at home you have a spouse who loves you and who supports you and who believes in you and who knows you have their back and who knows that you got them and that no matter what you go through, you're going to be there. It don't matter what everybody else thinks out there, because we have the opportunity to display who we truly are by those who are closest to us. That's where the rubber meets the road, not in what the world says about you, what the awards say about you, what the accolades may be, and the celebration of the world. Wah, 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 wah. The real you is observed at home off of the set that you play on during the day. This is the indicator of how you really doing. You know, I love meeting men in particular, young men in particular, older men in particular, because I can tell everything I need to tell about how a guy is really doing when I look into the eyes of his wife. I can see a story written on the face, and that story normally says either I am honored, I am respected, I am poured into, My man covers me. My man is good for me. My man prays for me. My man supports me. I'm living it. Or I look into the eyes and see he's a fake. He's a hypocrite. He ain't what y'all think he is. He don't treat me right. He don't take care of me. He neglects me. He abuses me. And it ain't cool. I can see these things, ladies and gentlemen. So I leave this with you today. If things are going right at home, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If things are going wrong at home, it don't matter what anybody else thinks. If things are going right at home, you have an indication that you are literally putting in the real hard work. Because anybody can fake for a day out in front of everybody else, because people don't see you behind the scenes. They just see your little highlight reels. They see you jumping out of the planes and shooting the bad guys and driving the fast cars. No, man, they don't see you in the background. They don't see you in the behind the scenes. They don't see you when the sun has gone down. Those that are closest to you will be the greatest indicator of how you are really, really doing in this life. And I have a suggestion to you. If you feel like you are coming up short with those you are closest to, I've got good news for you. With a little bit of clarity and with a little bit of accountability, you can begin to change that. Because ultimately, the greatest reward is when those at home are celebrating you because of pouring into them, and those out in the world are celebrating because of you pouring into them. When you are firing on all 8 cylinders, this is the place where you step into the zone of significance and legacy, pouring out into others and not merely taking on for yourself. So I close with what I began with today. If things are going right for you at home, it don't matter what everybody else is saying or thinking. If things are going wrong at home, it don't matter what everybody else is thinking or saying. Things are going right at home, let the people think you crazy. Things are going wrong at home, beware when people are saying good stuff about you, but those closest to you are not. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the real work is done. And that's where, my friends, in order to truly achieve that reality of who you are at home as who you are in the world, you will likely need some help from the one who created you to be, do, and have more than you could be, do, and have on your own. I hope today you choose to call out to him and ask him for a little bit of help. I know I do, all day, every day. Y'all have an awesome day.